I'm going to use skunk cabbage leaves like shingles. It rained all night. Hi, I'm Greg Ovens, and this is Ovens Rocky Mountain Bushcraft. So I'm in a special area in the Rockies. There's not too many areas like this with the big cedars. Lots of plants coming up. So what I'd like to do is me and Finn, we're going to wander through this forest here aimlessly, looking for a shelter spot, do some forage plants. And I think you'll find this exciting because this is an area I don't get to very often. It has different flora and fauna than most areas of the Rockies. So we're gonna head off from the highway here. I'm parked by the highway, you heard the car. But anyway, I'm gonna head further into the bush. But I gotta show you a couple of big cedar trees here. They don't usually get this big in the Rockies. I mean, they're nothing like the size of the Vancouver Island cedars, but pretty big for this area. And then we're gonna build a shelter and forage some plants. I know a lot of you folks want to see foraging of plants. This springtime, right now, end of April, perfect time to forage plants in this particular area. I'll be fine for a couple of days just living off the plants. So I guess that's all I gotta say. I had to bring water for him. The main reason is, yes, there's puddles and hopefully get near the creek, but there's water hemlock grows in here. And you do not want him drinking out of puddles where there's water hemlock. It can kill him. Kills livestock. I can't make coffee from that water. I don't even like to wash my hands in puddles that have water hemlock. So I brought that, my saw for my shelter. And you read it, Aqua Canyon. Anyway, coffee pot, my ferro rod, and a knife. I forgot my paracord, but I'm using this pack that Zach sent my hammock in. And fortunately he had some bank line at the bottom of it, so I didn't even really notice till now. A couple cans of dog food. I'm gonna be eating plants. It is a nice day today, so it's perfect to get my shelter done today. It is supposed to start and rain, so my timing's perfect. Get the shelter built before the rain, collect some plants, and we're styling. Trip. We're gonna have to clean it out. I like this spot. Got a couple of big trees. So it's going to be naturally dry. What do you see? Is it a bear? I think this is a perfect spot. Nice little shelf for stuff. Nice sleeping spot too. Firewood, Finn. Come on, break. Yeah, I lucked out here too. I don't really have to worry about water for the dog. We got a little creek over here. Didn't notice it till I started looking for material for the shelter, and not far from where we're gonna build. And the water hemlock, it likes the stagnant water. So I'm just going to explain a little bit about my shelter. I'm going to use skunk cabbage leaves like shingles, big ones like this, but I'm going to avoid ones with holes, obviously, then it's going to leak. What happens is there's a lot of slugs and snails in here and they eat the skunk cabbage up. Meow. But look at how nice that is. The water will funnel down here, right off. It'll be perfect. Skunk cabbage is edible, but it has to be boiled. It contains calcium oxalate crystals, and it'll just burn you have to cook it, but even cooked, you can still get a sore throat, it can swell your tongue up. It's an emergency survival food only, trust me. We're gonna find better plants when we go foraging, but the first thing is the shelter because it is supposed to rain. No more talking. Not going to describe every aspect of it because you'll see how I do it.
Total silence.
And sometimes it's just not necessary to talk. Some people say I talk too much. Oh, I guess I should say one more thing. I'm only going to take 1 or 2 leaves off the skunk cabbage. If I take 1 or 2 leaves, it's fine. It'll just send more. But I'm not going to cut an entire plant down. It's so scenic through here with all these big skunk cabbage, and I don't want to kill the plants. I just want to use a few leaves. Look out of the way. Look out, because it might fall. See what I mean? Now let's dig it down. It won't fall on you. When you're building emergency survival shelters, you want to make them small, just what you can get in. But I always choose big trees like this to work off of because the chances of water being in this area, even in a rainstorm, is slim anyway. I know the wind comes from this way. I'll have an opening here and not much room in here, just enough to lie beside this big tree. And I know that I got protection already. Put a couple of poles up. Poles across, layer it or shingle it with my skunk cabbage leaves. Something else I should mention, if you're going to use skunk cabbage, they tear very easily. You have to be gentle. And if the wind gets blowing, it's going to just tear them to shreds. So after we get it done, we're going to have to protect them, and I'll show you how we do that too. So basically I got my 2 poles going up to the trees. And I don't really have to tie these down, they're pretty heavy. I got to put more cross braces and I just layer it like shingles. You see? It's a start, and it's an emergency shelter, preferably for overnight if you're actually in a survival situation. The leaves do wilt. This one's starting to wilt already, but it should do you fine for the night in a rainstorm, especially if you take my advice and build under a couple of big trees to start with. Second layer done. The ridges are kind of up right now, but they'll just fold around each other and make even better seal. I'm staggering the joints. It's all layered like shingles. It'd be fine anyway, but like I say, as they wilt, it'll even get better. Hard to believe things actually get better sometimes. May as well do a test, eh? And I'll show you what I mean. It would take a real windstorm to blow them off. You see how waxy they are? The water just beads right off them. Not a drop inside. And that's pouring water over them. So, perfect shelter. That's what skunk cabbage can do for you. Emergency shelter situation. Okay, so, you know, I was saying if there's a big windstorm, you might want to take small branches gently, because the leaves tear easy, and just lean against it. You know, gently. Just put a layer of those to try. But the thing is, like, I don't think it's necessary. It would take a lot of wind to pull these leaves apart. They're waxy. I'll show you. Like, you take a couple of leaves, and as they wilt, they just glue themselves together almost. Listen to this. They just want to stick to each other. And if your wind's blowing this way, there's lots of strength in the stalks. It's the wind pushing this way isn't going to break or damage them. So, you know, I don't think that that would be necessary, you know, unless it was like a hurricane. That's what I think. Come, Finn. Come. Come here. Good boy. There it is. Treat. Well, we gotta stay under here. Sit down. Lie down. Well, I'm not gonna bother starting a fire tonight, and you're not gonna bother scratching my eyes out, please. I'm not that hungry. Tomorrow we'll forage some plants. Right, Finn? You're in the way. You want to be a YouTube star, I guess. I feel pretty good about this emergency skunk cabbage shelter. Like I say, just like shingles, yeah, it's going to be awesome. I'm just going to wear my coat. I didn't bring any bedding. Finley doesn't need bedding. But I guess I should feed him before bedtime, and I didn't bring any food either for myself. Guess I could eat some of his, but... Come on, Finn. You hungry? If it'll come out. There you go. Can I have some? I don't know. I'll wait for plants. Come here. Well, folks, I slept really well in here, to be honest with you. And it did rain. It was a good thing. It rained all night. So now I can show you how dry it is under here. And this rotten log here made a great pillow. Really soft. A lot better than a rock. But now it's clearing up, which is good too. Hopefully be able to find my way back. I'm pretty good at my sense of direction. I've only been lost about 3 or 4 times in my whole life. So this emergency shelter with the skunk cabbage leaves works dynamite. I'm going to show you once again how dry it is in here and how wet it is outside. Rained all night. But you see the waxy finish, like I say, it kind of runs off, but you can see it did rain all night. Water everywhere. And in here, dry as a bone. Everything just stayed dry. All the way to the bottom. Nothing wet. Not even a drop of water got in. Well, I thought about making some coffee, but I think I'm kind of hungry. I just want to forage some plants, and I'd rather just collect some plants and eat that up than make my coffee. But I did bring the blackout coffee, Zach. And how did Zach manage to get his logo on Blackfoot Coffee? He must be pretty photogenic or something. Have a fire somewhere else, because the one thing is I don't really trust the water to even cook with in here because of the water hemlock. Even though it's not up, I know it's in here, and man alive, that's the most deadly plant in North America. I want to even stay away from the water in this area. Go find a clean creek to do my cooking and have the fire somewhere else to cook the plants up. But beautiful area though. I love this area. I really love it. Well, I didn't have to go very far to find yellow violets. You don't bother cooking them. Just eat them raw. They're good. Flower, leaf, everything. All the violets are full of vitamin C. And there's nettles right here. I'll collect some nettles. Young, nice, perfect. Collect some of them. Lots of fiddleheads too. I'm not big on fiddleheads, but got some ostrich, sword, and bracken. Got some ostrich, fern fiddleheads. And there's another bracken right beside it. You're supposed to stay away from those. Sword fern. Like I say, I'm not going to pick any. I'm not big on them. Don't have any butter or anything to go with them. I know a lot of people like their fiddleheads, but it's just not a preference of mine. And if I can get in here, we've got the Devil's Club. These are real aggressive, the thorns on these. So collecting them can be a bit of a nuisance. The buds, it's hard to collect them without getting injured, seems. But I'll cut a few of those off. We can cook those up. Pick the thistles off, the thorns. Grab some nettles. I really like nettles, really good for you. Cleans your liver and blood, and very nutritious plant. Just gotta cook it. Then the sting goes away right away. Can't eat it raw, obviously. One of my favorite plants, I've got some burdock. The young roots, really tasty. That's one of my favorites. And also the leaves of sourdock. Found some of them too. So with the sourdock, curled dock, any of the dock, you would just use the leaves. But they have a lemon type of taste to them, very good. And then with the burdock, the roots, very good. I think I got enough stuff. So I got some Devil's Club, nettles, and 2 types of dock. There's probably other plants around, but throughout the summer I will show other plants, don't worry. We'll find a spot for a fire where I can get some clean water to cook these. That's better water. The nettles and dock, they're ready. The roots and the bulbs of the Devil's Club take a bit longer, but we'll have this for now. I sure like dock. A little bit of lemon would be nice for the nettles and the dock, but still good for you too. There's a little Devil's Club. Looks all right. Kind of different for sure. Oh, I needed something. Give me some energy. So the burdock roots, once they're cooked, I just kind of scrape with my fingernails, scrape that off. You can do it ahead of time too. try to describe to you the taste. It's like carrots. The bulbs from the Devil's Club. See if I can describe that flavor. It's like, pretty good. Actually, they're really quite good. Again, a little bit of lemon on any of these would have been the ticket. Next time I should bring a lemon. I appreciate you watching. Hopefully you learned how important skunk cabbage shelter can be, how quickly it can be assembled. I'm going to show different shelters throughout the year as well, because you may not be in an area that has skunk cabbage. You may need a debris shelter or different types of shelters, caves, whatever. So I will show other things throughout the year. I appreciate you all. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Right, Finn? Come and see. Come here. Come. So, look in the camera. Turn around. Come this way. Okay, so me and Finn. We'll see you on the next one. Now, how do we get out of here, Finn? Do we go this way? Or do we go that way? You gonna lead us out of here? Oh yeah, I forgot to say. The Devil's Club bulbs, they kind of taste like cabbage.
Cabbage.
But I got carried away and forgot to say that. We'll see you on the next one.
Indeed.